Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to get started in just a couple minutes. I'm Jennifer with Adair in Spokane, Washington.
And I'm Cindy Mathis, and I'm with Adair in our Kennewick office.
We are probably going to start at just after 3, probably give it a couple minutes to see how many people we get to jump on. If you would like to ask a question, put your questions in the Q&A section, not the chat, because the chat does not update very quickly. And Cindy's going to help me monitor the Q&A session. Yeah. But again, we're going to give this just a second so we can have some more people join.
I do want to say this is one of my favorite Adair floor plans. It truly is. It just is laid out so nicely, and everybody loves the shop, which that's like a little, giving you guys a little preview of what's to come. You're really going to like the garage.
It's very nice. The picture behind me actually is a picture of this house on the inside. So I can move and you'll see it in the video.
Yeah.
Super nice house.
Mm-hmm. They changed the floor plan just a little bit from what this one was. It was 1952 square feet, and then they did a little redesigning on now it's a 2,000 square foot home. So just a few little changes. We're always improving. We're always listening to what you tell us that you would like to have changed and making those changes for you.
Yep. And I'll try to show you on the Adair website where we made the changes, current versus what they did when they had had the home built.
Yeah.
It is the one. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome everybody. I appreciate you taking your afternoon to come and take a look at Adair's Oswego floor plan. My name is Jennifer Morales. I am based out of the Spokane sales office. And this is Cindy.
And I'm out of our Kennewick office.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Again, if you guys have any questions come up at all, go ahead and put the questions into the question Q&A part of the screen, because the chat does not update fast enough. So any questions you have, drop them into the questions and answers. And Cindy's going to watch that while we get started. I'm going to go into my screen. And I'm going to first come into the Adair website. Cindy, can you see the website?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so this is just our regular adairhomes.com, and you can go up and search by your area, which is important. So you can change your build area. I am in Washington State in the Inland Northwest, and my area is Spokane County that this house was built in. So when you go into the main page, you can scroll through the page. The main screen will bring up all the homes, but I went down to the Oswego. So this is the home we're going to view today. Today it is 2,000 square feet. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it does have a den. The biggest change that you're going to see in this house is they modified the kitchen area, and instead of an island, they put a peninsula in. And on their floor plan, the kitchen used to be a little bit narrower. In today's Oswego, we pushed the kitchen a couple feet into the shop area, making for a larger kitchen. So in some of the older videos you'll see of the Oswego, the refrigerator is right up against the pantry because we added this extra space by stealing from the shop. So you will notice that in the video that I'm going to show you. So this right now, I'm going to decrease the size of my screen so you can see it in the screen. There we go. So the other point you're going to see is they switched the dining room door to an atrium door, and they added a vault. So again, this is the Oswego. And now I'm going to show you their floor plan. And this was actually up in Deer Park. So you can see with this floor plan, see where the refrigerator is. This is where that change was. We pushed the kitchen into the shop area a couple feet to make the kitchen deeper than what you're going to see in the video. They also added the peninsula, an atrium door in the dining room. So there used to be a 6-foot slider. Now they upgraded to an atrium door, and then they added a door in the primary suite. And they put a vault. They added a vault onto the house right here. And you will see that in the video. They also added a door to the back of the shop. And then this floor plan, I should have brought you down here, resembles the Traditions floor plan. So the Oswego can come in the Traditions, the Craftsman, the Farmhouse, and our Modern Riata. And then when you scroll down even a little bit farther, you will see the different pricing for each of them, the Traditions versus the Craftsman, the Farmhouse, and the Riata. Now in this video, this house is not painted yet because it was finished in January, so we could not paint. So don't be worried by it, it's not painted. We do paint the interior and exterior of our homes.
For
This
sure,
one-
paint.
So this is your Traditions. You'll see the lap siding. This is a standard Traditions door and standard exterior light. On our homes, we do put a power outlet on the front and back of the home, and generally the one on the front is right by the front door entry. So this is actually a power outlet down here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit, oops, hold on, that did not work. I just lost my thing, hold on. Bring the video back up. Okay, which screen is it showing right now?
Showing the pricing for the Traditions, the Craftsman, the Farmhouse, and the Riata on the website.
I need to know. Open those. I'm gonna hold this. Okay, have you seen the video yet?
Yes, seen the video.
Okay, I need to.
Go full screen.
No, I'm gonna slow that down. Sorry, everybody. Okay,
There we go.
there. We started again. I'm gonna slow this down. It is going really fast. Okay, let me bring this back. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, again, Traditions exterior. This is a standard door that's gonna come with the house and standard exterior lighting.
And the doors do change depending on the exterior that you select. Is that correct, Jennifer?
That is correct. So the Craftsman would actually have a wood stained door. The Riata would have a more modern door, and even the Farmhouse door would look a little bit different than this. So coming into the Oswego, you're gonna see a coat closet right here in the front. They did upgrade all their flooring to LV or a laminate. It's actually laminate throughout the main part of this house. Standard in a home, the entry would be laminate, and the kitchen and dining would be a laminate, and then the great room would be carpet. That would be standard.
And just a reminder of if someone joined late, put any questions that you have in the Q&A. We'd be happy to answer any questions while we go through.
Okay, coming into the great room, you can see the vault. This is an 8-foot ceiling with a vault, but you can see it makes a huge difference in this space by adding the vault. Can lights are standard. The can lights that you see in the great room are standard. We're going to turn and go into the den. Standard interior doors are now a 2-panel door. When this house was built, it was a 6-panel door, but we've upgraded those to a 2-panel door. Standard trim around a window would be a drywall wrap. So they paid to have a Craftsman fully wrapped window. You have options to do just sill and apron, or you can do the fully wrap. And then we have a couple different trim options that you can upgrade to. And then standard trim on the doors and the floors. Standard trim would be a Craftsman or a modern trim. This is one of our standard interior paint colors. We are going to go into the primary suite. And again, bedrooms are carpet as standard. You can upgrade to a laminate LVP if you wanted. They added a door to the backyard. Again, upgraded to fully wrapped windows. And these windows are 4-foot windows. They're 4x5. Going into the primary bathroom, you're going to notice they actually upgraded the tub from the standard tub to a jetted tub. The standard tub would look just like this with no jets, and it's got the full tile surround and tile deck. They did remove the shower out of here. So you're going to see that there is no shower. The house would come standard with a fiberglass shower with a glass door. But you'll see that kind of as they walk forward.
Cheryl would like to know if that's the standard size master windows.
Yes, it is. These would be standard lighting in our bathrooms. You can kind of see the light up at the top. The sinks would now be undermount though, because we do a quartz counter, so you would have an undermount sink. This is going into the primary walk-in closet. This would be a standard walk-in closet with the shelf and pull, and then the shelf on top.
That's a nice size closet.
It is. And again, this would be a standard size tub, just no jets. They just upgraded to have the jets. And again, our standard countertops are quartz, so these would be undermount sinks in here. Going into the toilet closet. Satin nickel would be our standard color for accessories.
And if you see some of the little blue tape as you're walking through, those are, just little areas that we mark that need some touch up. Again, the house isn't painted, it's not completed. So those are just things that we take care of.
Yep. They did upgrade their cabinets to a knotty alder cabinet. It is a clear knotty alder cabinet. Standard cabinetry would be a beechwood with a stain color. So anything from the natural stain all the way to a black stain. Standard lighting in the bedrooms are now a dome light. And then hallways and the great room and the kitchen area all are a LED light. Coming back out into the great room, this is going to give you a really good view of the kitchen with the peninsula. And again, they removed the island to do a peninsula in there. Added the atrium door. These would be your standard can lights that are in the great room, and hallways and kitchen.
Jennifer, can you maybe mention a little bit more about what an atrium door is? Maybe not everyone knows what that door would be.
Yep. So an atrium door is where one door opens, one side opens. With a French door, both doors can swing open. An atrium door, only one side of the door opens. So they upgraded the fiberglass tub shower in this bathroom to the fiberglass shower with a glass door. And then in here again, it's an upgraded knotty alder cabinet.
For another sink if you would like in that bathroom as well.
Yep. You could 100% do another sink.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we removed the closet out of this room because of septic issues. So we had to remove the actual closet out of this room. Big, beautiful windows. Kind of get a peek of the mechanical room. In Washington State, the furnace has to be in the house or in conditioned living space. So that's why it is in this mechanical room. You could put it into the shop area, but we would have to create insulated space to put it into the shop area. Again, this is our other bedroom. Kind of see this house is still finishing construction. All the tweaks are going to happen in here. We do have a crawl space in our homes.
Sure would like to know what Oregon's furnace rule is. Do they have to be in a conditioned space?
I am not 100% sure on Oregon's. My guess is yes, because they're not very far behind Washington on the energy code side. But if you reach out to one of the home ownership counselors for Oregon, they would be able to tell you that. Idaho does not require that. So in Idaho, I can put the furnace in the garage and suspend it from the ceiling. It's not a big deal. But in Washington, I know for sure we cannot do that.
And I actually can speak to that. We build in Pendleton, Oregon, and the rule there is that it does have to be in a conditioned space.
Just like Washington.
Mhm.
This would be a standard light fixture over a dining room table. You could have that removed. You could put your own in. You could put can lights in. But this is really a good showing of what a peninsula would look like. They kind of have the little lip, so you could put bar stools there. This would be a standard sink faucet, standard sink. And then with this kitchen, this is called a modified gourmet kitchen. So it's modified because a standard gourmet kitchen would come with a double oven. You would also have a second oven underneath the cooktop. They removed that and put big, deep drawers down here. It's a 36-inch electric cooktop, or you could do gas, and then you have a 36-inch hood vent, a microwave, and an oven here. A standard Adair home would come with a microwave with the hood vent over an oven, an electric oven. That's what would come standard in a home, and a dishwasher. So this is just a modified gourmet kitchen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And you'd also have an island instead of the peninsula. They chose to do the peninsula, which I think is a really good way to redesign the kitchen. But the standard, you would at least have an island in there, so there's extra counter space. And this is the iced white quartz, which looks really nice in there.
It does look really nice in there.
CJ would like to know, can you have fireplaces in Washington?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So this is where that modification is. So in the old Oswego plan, the refrigerator backs right up against the pantry. But in today's Oswego, you will have a bank of cabinets here. Because again, we pushed the kitchen into the shop area to make the kitchen a little bit bigger. You guys would provide refrigerator, washer, and dryer. We plumb for water. So we're going to put the water hookup in there, but you're going to provide refrigerator, washer, dryer. We do the electric oven, microwave with the hood vent, and a dishwasher. That's what's standard. There's water hookup. That is the pantry. This would be a standard pantry. Standard cabinets. They did an 8-foot ceiling. If you did a 9-foot ceiling, the upper cabinets would all grow, as would the windows would all grow by a foot. If you like cabinets to go all the way to the ceiling, we can do that too. Those are all upgrades and options. But this kitchen looks very big with this peninsula in it. It just has a ton of counter space, a ton of cabinet space. There's such a pretty view out the backyard. Coming into the utility room, and we roughed in for a sink for them. They're gonna provide their own utility sink, so we just roughed in. Standard in a utility room is gonna have the shelf above the washer and dryer hookups. That would be pretty standard. And then going into the garage. And then go back and you guys can see the shop area. So mind you, we took about 3 feet out of this shop area to make the kitchen bigger, but this is what the shop area looks like. And then they added a door and a window back here. I'm gonna pull this all the way back. Do we have any questions? I'm gonna let this run in the background, but I want to make sure that we answer any questions that you guys have out there.
Can a wall go between the shop and the garage?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think you've even done that as a playroom, you know, just as extended living space, and there's lots of options with that space.
Yeah, I have seen people push the kitchen back into the shop area a little bit more. I've actually seen people use a little bit of the shop space to make a much larger pantry. You can close the shop off and insulate it. There are all sorts of different things that you can do.
Maybe bonus room. CJ would also like to know, do we offer VA financing?
I believe that Deer Financial does do that.
And is the heat pump water heater standard?
Yes. The only thing that I can't do in Washington is I cannot give you a gas or propane furnace any longer. I can only do electric in Washington, but I can still give you a gas stove or propane stove or a fireplace. I just cannot do the furnace in Washington state as of March 5th.
I have some people come over from Seattle that ask if they are getting air conditioning with our homes. I'm like, over here in Kennewick, you couldn't survive without it. Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's a good question because that's not always the case in that area.
And again, these guys upgraded to a laminate floor throughout the kitchen, entry, great room area. What would come standard would be carpet in this great room, and then you would have a laminate in the entry, kitchen, and dining. So you can just extend the same laminate. You can upgrade to an LVP if that's what you would like. Those are different options. Bedrooms are always going to come standard with carpet. You can do upgrades like to LVP or laminate if you would like. Again, windows are drywall wrapped in our homes.
And Spencer would like to know if you could keep the floors concrete.
We cannot do that. We have to finish our homes from start to finish. I have to put in at least my standards. This is a great house. So I would tell you the Oswego is probably one of our more popular homes that we have. You can make very small adjustments to it at not huge costs, but it's nice because it does give you that shop area. It does give you a nice size pantry. I've seen people extend the den out, 3 or 4 feet to make it into another bedroom. I've seen people do all sorts of stuff with that mechanical room if they can move the furnace. Just a lot of nice little tweaks that you can do with the Oswego floor plan.
Another thing that I get comments on quite a bit with this floor plan is how nice it is to have the primary suite and the bath and even that little den area that could be a nice little office where it's still separated from the other part of the home. So if you have guests or loud children, or you can kind of lock yourself in over to that area, and that primary suite can be really private and really nice to be a little bit away from everyone else.
Right, and it's a nice size primary suite.
It's 17, yeah, 17.2 by 17.6. That's good size.
Any other questions out there? You can ask questions about financing. You can ask questions about the home. Anything you want. We're here to answer your questions. And I appreciate everybody's time today. This is a great home. They had very modest upgrades in here, things like the atrium door, the naughty altar cabinets. And that is the standard size window. You can go to a smaller window, you can take the window out. There's all sorts of little things that you can do. But that would be standard. And again, standard size of the tub, they just added the one with the jets in it.
Can you chat about the land development options and what if the property is on a decent slope?
So with the slope option, we would add money into the contract depending on how much step that you have in the foundation. So part of our process would be to have a construction super come out to the site, and they are going to figure out what the grade is from the front of the house to the back of the house. Then we would put additional funds in there for the foundation, depending on how many steps there are that we need to have a level lot. So site development is, it's your excavation, it's the road, it is pulling power, septic. It just depends on the land itself, what needs to be done for site development. In some markets, we offer what's called site services, and that is where the construction super project manager is going to go out and get bids to help you with land development. They're going to figure out what your septic costs are. They're going to figure out about pulling power and pushing in the road, and they just kind of walk you through that process. They take the lead on that in site services.
And I think it's important to note that you can include that into your financing. If you're financing all of that site development, your permits, all the things that Jennifer just mentioned can be rolled into your construction loan. Spencer wants to know if it's possible to move the entire garage over to add to the living space.
Oh, 100%. There is another Oswego out there. If you Google it, it would be in Ellensburg. He added probably 4 feet down the middle of the homes because he wanted a double door entry. So really, we're just looking at where do we want to add that additional square footage. For him, it was to widen it enough to get the double door entry, but it, widened it in the great room. It kind of widened it everywhere. But so there's another Oswego out there in Ellensburg that I did a video on that kind of shows you a house that's had modifications. So yeah, 100%, you can do that, Spencer.
And are there pocket door and barn door options?
They are absolutely pocket door options. Barn door, not necessarily. We can get it ready for a barn door. We can get it all framed out for you, but we don't do the actual barn door.
There's so many different ones and different selections, and it's just pretty much easier if you select your own and have us prep for it.
Yep, 100%.
And is there video on the Douglas model?
There should be videos out there on the Douglas.
Yeah, if you go to our YouTube channel, we have numerous videos on there. And one thing to just keep in mind that some of the videos are a little bit older. So you'll see some different, that the HOCs like Jennifer talking about it. This is standard. This is standard. Some of those things have changed and been upgraded. So be sure to keep that in mind as you're looking at those videos.
And if there's not one out there, I have one on my phone that I took of a house, and we could just set up a quick Google, and I could send it to myself and I could show you one if there's not one out there. So we can figure out how to show you a video of a Douglas. They're cute houses. They're very cute houses.
I have a Douglas with an ADU added onto it as well, so.
If you guys are out searching on the Adair website, you've probably seen we've got a financing promotion going on right now. So we're running a 4.875 on the construction loan. There are timelines around that, but if you'd like more information on that, just set up an appointment through the online sales team, and they'll get you connected to the branch that's nearest to you.
I just looked and I see there are two Douglas plans on the video. One's in Blue River, Oregon, and the other one in Shelton, Washington. So at least those two. And then Jennifer and I both have. So. Oh, there's another one. Oh yeah. One of them's the old classic though. So I'd go with they're kind of, they're listed in there kind of as to how old the videos are. So the closer you are to the top, we'll give you a little better idea of what we offer today.
Yeah, just know that again, you know, a year ago, our standard countertop was a laminate and our flooring was a linoleum. So we've done a huge upgrade to our standards. So kind of don't look at the standards.
Yeah. And one of those is an old classic. Okay. Oh.
Girl said it's our leading contender. Any questions? And again, this is going into bath too. You could have a dual sink in here. Very easy. You could center the sink if you wanted. So I would tell you, if there are things that you see about our homes that you would want to change, ask the person you're working with. Is it possible to do this? Or do you have any suggestions for this? Because all of our home ownership counselors, you know, they've seen stuff done. They have things that they could tell you, well, you could consider doing this. I just set up a call with the head of our purchasing because I was trying to work on a project and couldn't visualize it. And he jumped on a call with me and I'm like, this is what they want to do. And they want it to be cost effective. And he helped me come up with a design. So I would tell you, just to whoever your homeownership counselor is, kind of tell them what you're visualizing and we can help you get there with our homes. Don't be afraid to ask, because there is some stuff we might push back and say, no, I can't leave the floors concrete. And I'll tell you why I can't do that. There are certain things we can do and there's certain things we can't. But if you don't ask, you won't find out the answer to those questions.
Good point. And if you have pictures, you know, if there's something that you're thinking of doing that you haven't seen, sending those to us help us to visualize what you have in mind. So the more information we can get, the better. But as you've noticed, if you go through some of our videos, even 2 or 3 of the same homes look entirely different because of some of the changes that people have selected.
Our process really is to reach out to the local office, or you can go onto the Adair Homes website and it'll say contact us. Our online team will reach out to you and put you in contact with the branch that's in the build market. You would go in and sit down, or they would set up a Zoom call and kind of walk you through the floor plan that you're most interested in. And they can speak specifically about jurisdictional requirements that are going to be needed for building permits, maybe things you didn't think about. But it's really just a brainstorming session where you're telling us what you're interested in, we're tossing ideas around. It doesn't hurt to go get all of that information out in front of you. CJ asked, what is the build timeline for this house? It's really dependent on the market that you reside in. So in Spokane, I would tell you, most of my clients, I tell them that my build timeline is anywhere from 7 to 10 months because I deal with snow and road restrictions. In Cindy's market, she probably has more like a 5 or 6 month timeline because she does not deal with snow or road restrictions. So it's all variable per area that you're in. You're lucky, Cindy.
I know. Once in a while, we get one that's kind of, we did one in Waitsburg that was, we had a little bit of some snow conditions, and we're currently getting ready to do one that is in Hefner. That's kind of up in the snowier areas. But for the most part, we can pretty much build year round. It is an advantage. And you're right on. I mean, 6.5 months has been pretty much our timetable around here for those homes. But as Jennifer said, really reach out to whoever's in your local area. I mean, we're experienced with building homes in our area. We know what the jurisdictional, restrictions are. We know what the build times are. Having that site supervisor come out and meet you on the property and draw up a site plan for you before even having to really commit to buy a home. I just think that's really a blessing to be able to have that information at your fingertips and to have somebody that's that knowledgeable be able to look at your land, whether it's land that you own or land that you're considering purchasing, to have that information for someone who is thinking about building and buying a lot is really important. You want to know everything you can.
Again, this house has got an 8-foot ceiling, and then they did a vault.
Yeah.
That's a standard ceiling height is 8 feet. If they did a 9-foot, these windows would be a foot taller, and this atrium door would even be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who took this video, so I don't know if you guys saw me in the mirror, but I can't tell you how many times I smacked my head on that light. It's like ding, like 5 different times when I was there. It's such a pretty house, though, I'm telling you. It turned out really nice.
I love the little hat over there as window decor. So you can tell there's still a little work being done.
Yep.
They did a nice job on the floor selection with the cabinetry. I think that blends very well. It kind of gives you a different feel for the home.
It did work, and it really works in the woods. Like it just made it very homey, very warm colors. Again, we do paint the interior and exterior of the house. This is one of our interior paint colors. On the exterior, we have about 30 different choices of exterior colors, but we were in the middle of winter, so they were not painted when we got this video.
You can look out the windows and see the snow. So
yeah. Well, and so standard appliances are Whirlpool appliances, and they're all stainless. So that's what comes standard in the homes. The gourmet kitchen, you can actually pick between Whirlpool and KitchenAid, but the standard is going to be a Whirlpool stainless.
yeah. Oh. And you might want to mention too about what if they want to bring in maybe their own appliances. Is that an option?
So you can bring in your own appliances. The biggest thing about bringing your own appliances in, we need to know exactly what you're going to bring in before the contract is signed. So that way when we draw up the plans, we have the dimensions for that cabinetry. So if you want to bring your own in, you absolutely can. We just have to know the make and model so that we can make sure we plumb for everything correctly. And the cabinets are built to hold those appliances.
And Cheryl would like to know if she can upgrade and have us put in the fridge and the washer dryer.
We actually do not do that only because there are so many choices of refrigerators and washers and dryers out there. So we do leave that up to you guys to go out and source those in. Just side by sides, the French doors, they're just so many options. We do leave that up to you guys for the fridge, washer, and dryer.
And if your question was more about like putting them in as far as installation, That, that kind of gets into an area where when you're bringing an outside product into the home, installation isn't something that we do on outside products.
But we could help you coordinate with whoever you're purchasing from so they can come in and install them. So that way you know that they're being installed the right way. So we can absolutely kind of work with you on that and setting timelines and, what that timeline looks like. You don't want your pretty stuff brought in till the very end anyway. We try to keep the wrapping on everything because of construction does.
Oh, and they also do cleaning, the final clean is also something that's included. So they do a nice final clean before you move in.
Yeah, we do a construction clean, get all the dust out of the cabinets, we kind of wipe everything down. Coming back out here into the shop area. We do a garage door opener. It's a chain drive garage door opener, but you can upgrade to a belt drive. This would be pretty standard to see this metal baluster to protect the hot water tanks. That's pretty standard in our garage. They brought in a water filtration system. In situations like that, you would just need to tell us what we need to do to prep for what you're looking to bring in for like a filtration system.
Drywall garage standard, question mark?
Yeah, our garages do come standard with drywall. We don't insulate them though. So if you want to insulate them, that would be considered an upgrade to insulate the garage. But they are drywall. And painted generally.
And you can add texture. That again would be an upgrade, at least if you wanted to have it textured.
Pull this back again. Does anybody have any other questions? And again, I appreciate your guys' time today.
And that side light window is standard as well. Some people that prefer to have that or not have it, or maybe even have one on each side. So there's some other entry options as well. I have quite a few people now that are wanting the wider interior doors. They're kind of thinking about aging in place and wanting to have a wider or just strictly, easier to move in furniture, that kind of thing.
I would tell everybody that if you are building, that is such a valuable piece of information. Widening your doors to the 3.0 doors is not that expensive. We do it where we can, where we don't have to adjust the room sizes very much to accommodate it. But if you want just like your primary bedroom, the bathrooms to have a larger door, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, it's super cost effective to do it now during the build. So I would, put that on your laundry list of things that are great to ask about.
And can you upgrade the kitchen all the way to the shop? Basically get rid of the shop and expand the kitchen area.
100% you can do that.
Yeah.
The cost for that, you would look at the cost as converting from garage space to livable space, but then you would look at countertop costs, upper and lower cabinet costs, those kind of things, flooring costs, all kind of go into that kind of an upgrade. But yes, you can absolutely do that.
Yes, and we can put that in as a custom option and get the pricing for you ahead of time as well.
Exactly. Yeah, even layout. Like I've had some people that have asked to move the sink to make it like in a different place, you can do that. Had people ask me to move the cooktop, you can do that. Those are all kind of things that you can ask about. To find out what we can do and can't do. There's not very many things we're gonna push back on.
And kitchen islands, even though this one doesn't actually have the island, some of the other floor plans, boy, there's so many different things that you can do with the island. Make it larger, the cabinetry in there. If you want the raised area, if you want it completely flat, if you want the sink to be in the island, or if you'd rather not. So you can do a lot of different things.
Again, this is this house in today's world. You can kind of see the cabinetry here between the pantry and the refrigerator, but this house would standard come with this island. And then you have the shop space over here. Here's your laundry room. Here's your bathroom. The bath too, they upgraded to a fiberglass shower. It would typically come with a fiberglass tub shower combo. It's an insert. And then over in the primary suite, you would still have that beautiful garden tub, but you would also have a large fiberglass shower with a glass door. That would come standard in the primary suite. And again, Washington and Oregon, your furnace is going to be right here. Or you could move it out to the shopper garage area, but you have to put it in the insulated space. You cannot just go into the garage. It actually has to be in an insulated closet. But this is a decent sized garage, 22 by 24 in this area, and then the shop is 10 by 15. So you can push the kitchen all the way back. Just think about how you want this dining room to lay out. Any more questions out there? Then up at the top of the Adair website, it says have questions, just ask us. That's a direct link to our online team that puts you in contact with us. Or if you're interested in talking to Adair Financial about our interest rate promotion, all you have to do is press the learn more, and it'll take you to the Adair Financial site. You just put your information in, and one of the Adair Financial people will call you back, and you guys can just talk about that interest rate and what's it look like from a down payment perspective. Typically, if you own your land, you've already got equity built up into your land, so you don't necessarily have to come up with a down payment if you already own your land.
We might mention that the interest rate is good through this month. It's something that we take a look at each month to see if we're able to extend it. But there are some ways when you talk to your homeowner counselor that you can, kind of be in the pool for that, putting down a deposit and still be considered for that interest rate. So be sure, any questions that you have, don't hesitate. Ask all the questions.
Yeah. And then here you can see if you go into photos, it'll bring you down here. Just know that any of these photos are somebody's home. So every photo you go through is going to be just a little bit different because everybody does something a little bit different to the homes. But there's tons of pictures out there.
There's that island.
Yeah, I just accidentally kicked out of that screen back into Adair Homes.
That particular exterior, I think it's time for us to put a new photo on there because the classic is no longer being offered. The traditions looks nicer. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah, you can do the virtual tours, the design tools. There's all sorts of information on here. But the best thing to do is just try to book an appointment to come into the office or do a virtual with one of the local offices. Because like I said, they can give you a ton of information more specific to your area. I'm more of an expert for my area. Cindy's more an expert for her area.
And there are some significant differences. So that's one of the reasons. And also on pricing, you do, as Jennifer showed us at the beginning, I don't know if anyone joined late, but it's important to look at the pricing for your area because it is different based on jurisdictional. Oregon's different than Washington. Different areas within are going to be priced differently. So just make sure you're in the correct area.
Any more questions out there? Thank you, Cindy. You've been wonderful helping today.
I always learn something, Jen, whenever I do this with you. So it's a good thing. There were some good questions today.
Any other questions out there, you guys? Anything that you wanted answered that we didn't cover today?
We can do a custom home as well. We don't talk about that a lot, but it is something, it is an option. If you have if we can't accommodate one of these floor plans to fit what it is that you would like to have, or maybe even to fit your lot, sometimes, you can go with custom and design the home yourself. There's some conditions with that. So again, you really want to check with your homeowner counselor and have a good discussion about that.
What else? Any other questions? I think we just went down. Any questions? Do you do anything to remediate radon? So we can do a passive radon system. In my market, it's required. So in Spokane County, actually almost all the counties in my area in Washington require a radon vent. Idaho, it is up to the client if they want one or not. But yeah, we can do a passive radon system. Not everywhere has to worry about that radon, but in our market, we have a.
We in this area, and snow load is an issue for you guys up there as well. That's something that, again, that's why it's so important to really check with the person in your area because they'll be able to help you with that.
Anybody else have questions? I thank you guys for taking your time this afternoon with me and Cindy. This is a beautiful house. It's a very popular floor plan.
I got someone. Oh, it's Brian. It's okay.
Did somebody walk in on you?
Yeah, well, somebody was banging on the door, but it was Brian, so it's okay. Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite floor plans. Just the way it's laid out, the extra space for the shop, the way that they've separated the primary suite, from the rest of the rooms. It's a really workable plan.
It is very workable. All right, with that, I think if we don't have any more questions, I will go ahead and end the call for the day. I appreciate everybody taking the time with us this afternoon. And again, I thank you, Cindy, for jumping on with me. Everybody have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so